Alright my little poogies, Jules Gill here, and I am sat next to one of the coolest board games around. That's right, I am here to tell you about Monster Hunter World Iceborne, the board game. Do you have an unquenchable thirst for destruction? Do you enjoy granular experiences where you can upgrade your character's abilities, weapons, and hone your fighting skills? Well, Monster Hunter Iceborne, the board game, is for you, friend! Now, the Iceborne board game is a cooperative boss battler for 1 to 4 players, which can see you go on lengthy campaigns to slay the mightiest beast. But if you're short on time, then instead you can head to the arena to do one-shot style boss battles with predetermined loadouts. Either way, it is an utter blast. And remember hunters, the more monsters you slay, the better your equipment and gear, which means you can hunt even bigger monsters. So Jules, I hear you cry, how do you win this game? Well, you've got to slay the biggest, baddest beast. How do you do that? Well, you get stuck into the action. Come on, let's go! But before we get to the battle, you're going to have to use your brains, and by that I mean you're going to have to track the monster down, and you do so by following the quest book, which will allow you and your party to make choices that will affect the upcoming battle. Along the way you can earn track tokens, which once the battle starts, flip over and allow you to apply powerful once per battle special effects. Right then, let's be having ya. First off, we've got to get the monster's behavior deck. Give it a good old shuffle, do the same with your hunter attack cards, deal out 5 to your hand, and let's get cracking. Or should I say, let's let the monster get cracking, because in Iceborne the board game, the monster always activates first. Yeesh. The monster attacks by resolving effects from its behavior deck, but be careful not to make it angry, because if you do, well, it's going to activate a brand new set of cards, new set of behaviors, and trust me, all of them are party-wiping potential. Now, the monster's attacks don't just inform you how much damage you're going to be potentially taking, but they also tell you how many hunter activations you're going to get and how many cards you can play in your turn. And speaking of your turn, in your turn you can move, you can start getting close to the enemy to attack it, and you can start breaking it down into base elements. With new mechanics such as the Clutch Claw, which is available in every hunter's deck, allowing you to close the distance and rip off parts of the armor, it allows you to deal direct damage to the monster in question. But you've got to be careful, because every single time you draw from this damage deck, it's going to start to imply that your hunter's blade is growing a bit dull, and you're going to need to keep that sharp. Much like the attacks that you'll be making, actions such as drinking a health potion or sharpening your blade will cause you to put a card down onto your stamina board. But here's the problem, these only resolve at the beginning of your next activation, so you better make sure you don't take a hit, otherwise, sorry friend, that ain't happening. And trust me, managing your stamina board is key to victory in this game, because if you happen to fill up your stamina board, well, unfortunately, you're going to find that your dodge potential goes down to 0. So you've done your damage, you've quaffed your potions, and you've sharpened your blade and your wits. It is officially the end of your turn, but there's still some actions to do, because at the end of your turn you'll draw from the time deck. And remember, if this runs out, game over, pal. Then you'll resolve the actions that are printed on the card, some of which are good, some of which are very, very, very bad. Then you flip over your hunter's activation to show that you've had your go, and then you start to clear your stamina board. And you can do this in one of 2 ways. Either you can remove 1 of the face-up cards from your stamina board, or you can remove 2 face-down cards. And trust me, like I said before, you're going to want to keep this board as clear as possible. Luckily, all of these informations and points are printed here on the hunter's end turn reference card. Okay, so you're ready now for the monster to inevitably hit back, but what you're probably not ready for is turf wars, because oh yes, they are a thing. They are a massive, monstrous thing. Here a new apex predator has shown up and said, "Oi you, I'm having none of that." Now this can be a good thing or a very, very bad thing, because you are standing in the way of 2 monstrous beasts. But seeing as both monsters now have a threat level of 10, with some careful positioning, you may be able to get them to rock each other's socks off instead of your own as you cower and cry in a bush. In fact, it's very possible for the invading monster to straight up slay the quest monster, but fret not, my friends, because you still reap all of the rewards and get to bask in all of that glorious glory. But don't put your feet up just yet, because this is Monster Hunter World Iceborne, the board game, which means there are always more monsters to slay. So get out there, friends. I'll see you soon. Slay.